Hey, everybody, welcome in. I am Santana Wood, managing editor for TPI, and we are here to give you the latest coronavirus coverage. And tonight I've got a special guest, Alexander City Councilman Scott Hardy. How you doing, Scott?
Doing excellent, guys. How are y'all doing today?
Doing good, doing good. Thanks for being on here. I think that you put out an update earlier today on your Facebook page, just kind of giving some folks an update. And, our county rate has really grown. There are 149 cases just before we started this show, and we're actually second in confirmed case rate in the state. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, first, my heart just goes out to the people that are impacted, especially their families, not having the opportunity to see them in the hospital or visit them while they're being treated is something I know that's difficult. But when I shot that video this morning, we were at 124, I think. So we've already seen 25 more cases there. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the rate was at 307 this morning, and now it's at 369 or somewhere in that
Yes.
vicinity. So, I mean, clearly this is a serious, serious thing. And I think it's incumbent upon the leadership within the community to make sure that people are aware that this isn't something that can be dismissed as, something that's not serious, because it definitely is.
Yeah. What is it going to take, Scott, for folks to understand the gravity of this? I mean, can you kind of put those numbers in perspective for us?
Yeah. So if you were the Alabama Department of Health did it on a per 100,000 persons rate. So if you were to compare us to Huntsville, our numbers are 6 times more than Huntsville, 5 times more than Tuscaloosa, 4 times more than Montgomery, 3 times that of Birmingham, and 2 times that of Mobile. So, I mean, those are the five largest cities in Alabama. And if you were to compare us to them, right now we are trumping them in every statistical category when it comes to COVID-19. So for me, at some point, I thought that, when someone is impacted that that has the virus, and I thought that that may change the tune a little bit. We've already lost a community leader in Reverend Hunter due to the virus. I have multiple friends who have either a family member or someone that they're affiliated with that has been impacted by it. So all I can plead with to the community is to take this serious. This is not something that can be dismissed. As I said, this is something that's impacting lives. And if you don't necessarily, I'm just going to be upfront about it. I think it's selfish. I think that if you're going to put yourself in a position to get yourself sick, that's one thing. But if you're exposing our police officers, our public safety, or our first responders, healthcare workers, and especially those in nursing homes who are being impacted, they're on the front line with limited resources. We're putting them in the worst possible position, and it's unfair to others who have nothing to do with it. So again, if you don't care about yourself, that's one thing, but at least put it into perspective that you could be impacting someone else and they could get exposure to the virus.
Wow, yeah, certainly. I think that people need to understand that it's what you have to do in order to be take preventative measures is so simple. I mean, something as simple as not going to your grandmama's house on Easter. I mean, that was
Mm-hmm.
tough for everybody. But I think that there were people in the county who probably got together on Easter. I mean, I think that there are still gatherings happening in Alex City and Dadeville despite the curfews. What do you think?
I mean, as you guys know and have reported on last week, the city implemented a curfew of 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. And as far as traffic, it's settled down a little bit. But in terms of the gathering of more than 10 and the social distancing, we're still having issues with that. And there's only so much you can do from a fine standpoint, issuing fines. But as somebody who's representing the city, I don't necessarily want my officers having to go out and to write these fines because they're getting exposed or risking exposure, risking taking it home to their family. So again, it's a domino effect. So, and again, 1 in 4 people don't even have symptoms that get the virus. So how can you say that, it's going to be okay when you're not heeding to what's being asked of you? Everybody is getting frustrated. I understand everybody's going stir crazy, but imagine planning a wedding for a year and then having to change plans there. We were supposed to be in Turks and Caicos
Right.
last week. So clearly, I mean, everybody's impacted by this in some form, some shape, form, or fashion. And again, my plea is that I ask that the leadership within our community, not necessarily from a political standpoint, but leaders within the community, if you have a voice, whether it be at the church or some civic organization, tell your members to stay at home, or at the very least adhere to the minimum of 10 people. I mean, I very rarely do you see people in gatherings like that anyway. So if you're going to be confined, at least confine it to what they're being asked to do, and that's 10 people or less. And then obviously the social distancing.
Very, very certainly true. Well, Scott, I really appreciate you. I know that so many citizens appreciate you being a voice right now, and really standing up and telling everybody how it is. We really do need to continue to flatten this curve the best we can. And I really appreciate you being on tonight. Everybody, thank y'all for watching Scott Hardy, Alex City Councilman, tonight. We are going to cut to a quick break, hear from our sponsor, Russell Medical Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine, and we will be right back. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you, guys.
At Russell Medical Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine, we want you to know we're open. We take COVID-19 seriously and have put precautions in place for the safety and health of our patients. Don't delay treatment. Wound duration lasting more than 30 days is less likely to heal naturally. We treat all types of wounds, cuts, and burns, so intervene early. Wound care is critical. Call us today.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. I'm Lizzie Arbogast, sports editor at Tallapoosa Publishers, back with Santana Wood, managing editor, who was just talking to one of Alexander City Council members, Scott Hardy. It was really great to hear from him. And, it's good to have, I know we've been saying it, but it's good to hear, yet another leader saying, like, stay inside, and it's selfish. And, you don't need to be taking a walk after 10 o'clock at night. You don't need to go have a big party at your house right now. And that's something that is really something that needs to be said. So I appreciate Scott being on to say it, and to be another voice for that.
Definitely. And, like he said, it's not just about yourself right now. It's about protecting so many other people, and especially those who are vulnerable to getting really severely sick or dying from the coronavirus. So really appreciate having him on tonight. And we want to talk a little bit about those numbers that I touched on a little bit with Scott. It continues to grow in the state and locally as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There are, as of 6:40 p.m., there are now 4,241 cases of the coronavirus here in Alabama. That's an increase of, yet again, almost 300 since last night, or since this morning, actually, I think. And there have been 524 hospitalized since that March 13th date due to this virus. Locally, Tallapoosa County once again did make an increase, is now up to 133, which is an increase of 10 since our show last night.
Yeah, there have been 422 tested in Tallapoosa County. 7 of those have been reported deaths, and 4 of those 7 deaths have been confirmed to have died from the coronavirus.
Yeah. And I'm going to interrupt you here. I just kind of want to make a plea. I wrote about this a little bit in our column, but, be careful what you're saying on social media. We've seen comments like, oh, well, only 4 people out of 40,000 in our county have died. Think about what that means to the people who their relative, their mom, their dad, their sister, their brother, their son, their whoever, thankfully it's not your family member, and maybe it doesn't matter to you personally, but just be careful about what you're saying, because this is affecting a lot of people, and a lot of people are taking it seriously, whether they know someone with the virus or they're impacted financially, or plenty of other reasons. It's important to be sensitive, I think, right now.
Yeah, and I do just want to correct ourselves real quick. We made these notes before we went live, but there are 149 actual cases in Tallapoosa County. So,
wow,
that number has grown from 133 at 6:30 whenever we made those notes to now 149.
Right.
It just continues to grow. In Coosa County, there are 20 confirmed cases. That's an increase of 2 from last night. Elmore County has 47 cases, an increase of 4 from last night. So just continuing to grow.
Yeah, absolutely. Also in Tallapoosa County, we did confirm that a Tallapoosa County deputy has tested positive for COVID-19. He was experiencing flu-like symptoms and is in quarantined for 14 days. Sheriff Jimmy Abbott did say that he was hopeful that he would make a full recovery, that deputy. But, like Scott said, those people are putting their lives in danger. So it's important to think about those people, not just about yourself right now.
Yeah, and over in Alex City, Police Chief Jay Turner said that the call volume is dropping, especially after midnight, after instilling this curfew. Some parties are still happening during the day and at night, but generally they're stopping when that curfew starts at 10 p.m. People are calling the police department to report violations of people not practicing social distancing as well. So, just be really careful and know that, we can't say it enough. It's not just about you anymore. It's really, our entire county is at stake here, and we've got to make some sort of a difference in order to try to flatten this the best we can.
Yeah, absolutely. Over in Elmer County, the Elmer County Public Schools are taking some proactive measures. They're undergoing an intensive testing and cleaning process to guard against the spread. Superintendent Richard Dennis said that they're cleaning at all 15 of the school buildings and administrative offices. And even though that's going to cost the school system $60,000, obviously they think that's worth, that cost to make sure that those buildings are as clean as possible.
Definitely. Over in Tallahassee, Tallahassee City Schools students will be able to pick up enough food to last several days and have a weekly meal pickup, which will replace the current Monday, Wednesday, Friday pickup schedule. The pickup locations are the City Library on Freeman Avenue, the Career Tech on Gilmer Avenue, and the parking lot of the Fantastic Fort on Main Street in East Tallahassee. All those will remain the same over there in Tallahassee.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, Mayor Hammock did remind people that the street departments are working on a skeleton crew that could, delay schedules and things like that. But they are definitely working. Also, as always, you can see our videos with the mayor on the Tallahassee Tribune Facebook page. So make sure that you visit that every week for Mondays with the mayor.
Definitely. Want to give you guys a little myth versus fact tonight. According to a Pew survey done about the coronavirus, nearly 30% of Americans believe this conspiracy theory that COVID-19 was created by humans in a laboratory. Really, nearly 1/4 of those believe humans created this virus intentionally. What do you got to say about that, Lizzie?
That's not fact. I personally am not a conspiracy theorist, although if you want to talk about the moon landing, call me, because I do have conspiracy theories about that one. Other than that, I don't believe that the coronavirus was created intentionally. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention did say that obviously this is a new strand of coronavirus and has origins in bats. Rarely animal coronavirus can infect people, but this is the case with this particular strand of the coronavirus.
Yeah, we've also got something to share with you guys. We really want to honor these class of 2020 seniors who are, not having that traditional graduation experience. You can see our senior photos, and we're doing a little something special for everybody as well.
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is create just a big montage video, essentially, of your seniors, their best moments, whether they be in sports or clubs or academics. We are providing one free photo for every senior, and then there's also an option to give your senior a video message or give them some more photos. I know a lot of people like those baby photos to go along with their senior photos. So there's a good opportunity. We're doing that across all of our TPI publications. So we do have an order form online, as well as you can drop them off at our offices. We just ask that you slip them under the door because, our offices are actually closed right now, but somebody will be there to pick up your pictures.
Yeah, really excited about that. Think that will be great once it's put together, and a great way to honor all of our seniors in the area. And as always, we want to thank you guys for tuning in, watching us tonight. Thanks for tuning in for our special guest, Scott Hardy, tonight. And we'll continue to be here every weeknight at 7 p.m., deliver you the latest coronavirus coverage, and continue to give you those daily updates on our website as well. So we just want to thank our sponsor again. Couldn't do it without Russell Medical Wound Care and Hyperbaric Medicine. Really appreciate their support and our audience as well. Again, I'm Santana Wood, TPI Managing Editor, alongside Lizzie Arbogast, Sports Editor. Y'all have a good night.
We'll see you tomorrow.